Hello, YouTubers and all those out to watch. Hope you're doing quite well. This right here is some content creation for the First Descendant, talking about builds, content creators who create builds, and that kind of thing. So, if you're new to this is going to be not necessarily a learning experience, but more so me just kind of talking about some of the thesis of it, at least for me. Like, I'm not, again, crap on anyone's great needle when it comes to the idea, the concept of it. Because, either way, these people are providing a service to those who need help with builds, or they simply just want to capitalize on, you know, the bare minimums of what comes to that, you know, build that somebody wants. Or they saw a build online, thought that looked really great, and they share it with somebody else. Whether they give credit to what the original build creator was, that's entirely on them. But basically they go about and they make this build and they're very proud of it. They theory build with it on Twitch or something, and then they go, okay, Twitch chat, I'm going to make this video now, and I'll show everyone this cool build we built together. Or they just build on the stream. Which is fine. It's fantastic, right? This isn't me, again, crafting a video. So, with me, when it comes to builds, I like to personally make my own. Doesn't mean I'm better than anyone, either. Like, this is just the whole emphasis of it. Like, I like to kind of explore with what builds can be and what could be. And it's also satisfying to kind of land something that hits really hard really good. As I say that, that was like perfect timing, actually. Because we're playing this in real time. I'm just going to kind of ramble like that gamble my time. So, currently farming some of the arrows. So basically, again, I look at each build as sort of like a fingerprint or something. How they like their character to be, whether they're glass cannon, whether it's just something you think that's overly barrenly busted or whatever, or things are done. Because I came up with a build for myself with Freyna, you know, and I learned, and I finally got this darn drop for mods. Don't ask me why I never dropped her, but it was for shields. So I finally got that mod, and it's been eating away at my soul. And mind you, I won't use this for certain characters, and I'm not holding. But I use this for my Freyna, and I was like, Gluttony is such a pain in the ass. And so I'm over here running around trying to get. Okay, they're good. But you know, just trying to figure out how to combat this guy. I mean, obviously, if you use immunity to toxicity, or toxic rather, it's going to make it a hell of a lot easier to avoid. So you sacrifice a little bit of damage, but the minimum you can, and just jump into the fight, right? Just survivability is pretty much what's important. That, or just have a really good Val being nearby with the fucking perk. That one perk to clean up the mess. So, go from there, blah blah blah. Make your own thing. Or, again, that option of having the choice of somebody who's already made something pretty nice for you, leave it with that, which is fine. Sometimes, when I first started this game, I was confused about certain little perks, so how they work and how they scale. Because usually if you play an RPG or whatever, you kind of have to figure out, other than rule of thumb, what certain things do. Resilience versus mentality, whatever, right? So, you have to see how the developer designed the game. So I was confused about that. I looked it up real quick, and that was it. So it's like that useful tool to kind of figure out what and where you can establish any sort of connection to how your character will work versus it's like weapons in this game. They don't make any sense. Everyone knows that. Every person who makes a video will tell you this. The guns in this game make no goddamn sense half the time. But then they just make sense because, okay, put a lot of the fire rate, whatever, right? I mean, that's most games of the same difference, too. But people figured that out. They explained it, they shared it, and life was grand. I should have had that up the whole time. I was in my head counting how many I collected, but I usually like to grab ×3 of that amount there for the advanced neural circuits. But yeah, basically It just felt like the Wild West otherwise. And I figured out over time, you know, elements and all this kind of stack anyway in most games. So if you can enhance any gun, which bunnies forgot there were guns in this game. But basically they found out that, you know, you can combine fire rate attack, and that just really cranks up the gun's potential, along with elemental damage output. Which makes Common Spence, especially with Freyna, like, she is a whole nother animal when it comes to her stuff. Like, they gave her a wonderful buff. Secret Garden. Mix it up with the Python, with the close encounters. Succulent. Succulent healing. If you get that reference, I'll let you. So... I also feel bad for that guy, too, when I happened to him, apparently. I was reading up with the guy that was sitting at that restaurant. He was sitting there going, you know, kind of just trying to enjoy a meal, right? He was confused. But then he really clammed up to what was going on and just owned it. But it's funny because he wasn't even guilty for being arrested for whatever the hell it was. Which was, apparently there was some sort of, like, person that was perjurizing things or whatever. I think it was a credit card or something. And I'm only going off topic here now. That's the price of ADHD. I really do have ADHD. So, basically, long story short, guy goes over, gets arrested. This funny dialogue comes out. It's like it's actually really funny. If you can look it up. Guy gets arrested from a restaurant. He's an artist. I forgot his name. Anyway, back on topic. Basically, the guy... I'm still going on about it. What the hell am I doing? Belby. Oh, I was hitting cancel, I didn't cancel. Girl. Yeah. So whenever I design a build, I kind of go with the idea of balance. And with this game here, it's not necessarily about balance, where you can kind of go a little crazy if you know what you're doing in the game. Like if you can dodge raindrops, then you're fine with a glass cannon build. If you're not as good with dodging raindrops, then you should probably stick to a build that's a little bit more balanced towards defense, a little bit of HP. Go with that and play it safe. And I don't think the game completely punishes you for doing it. Other people in here might. The game won't. The game don't care. Just plays okay. I don't. So basically, the game itself here, though, it's like you auction yourself off. The idea that, well, okay, this build right here. So we're gonna go into tech. We're gonna focus on tech. Focus on, you know, on attribute, and we'll go from there. And so usually that just stacks things up pretty nicely. And Velby here, like again, this isn't something that I 100% came up with in her at least, but I kind of figured out the rest of it myself, because again, Warframe mechanics. So the game borrows from different video games that's already been out. And all you gotta do is simply slap this all together and figure out from the mind what's underneath the hood for Nexon's idea of Warframe. Because yes, apples and oranges for some, but honestly, you go into the game, you look at all the different things here, and you go, okay, I want to do a deduction cost to skill cost, which again, that does add up over time. Some others, I think, I'm trying to remember what the hell was here before, but like some people just go into range, like they go try to find one that's like a vacant range here. Let's see. Yeah, they go into the maximize range one. But for me, heck, you don't even have to, for this one here, you don't even really have to, and you can see the difference. Like, it increases it, you know, quite a bit. And you can see the difference in range. And it's plus 18, which is just some wildland shit to me, because you see it. Right here. Now, it's 20 plus 24. You don't even really have to increase it right now. And you'd be fine for a while. Just with this one mod. You don't even have to increase this mod. You can just leave it alone for a while. Yes, increasing it would be much smarter and much more intelligent, but I'm not like that. Yeah, somebody basically put that in there. And, you know what I mean? And obviously I don't add that. I use this as opposed to, I mean, yes, I'm losing out a little bit of that range, but I get that deduction from frugal mindset. Like, I just like stuff like that. And these type of mods here, the extension and expansion, are usually great. Frontlines is always superb. Somebody already said it. And then you can basically see the points. So it's like you can mix and match, and most of the cocktail that you can rise is usually going to turn out. But for me, I kind of go off what I feel is more right for the character. Doesn't mean I'm completely correct. There's certain little things people figured out or exploited that work well for them. So the huge takeaway from this game is, to me anyway, it's fine to borrow what you see from I see a lot of people gatekeep the idea of, well, it's inflammatory to do so, because you know, they think it's boring, dull, or whatever. For me, it's like, I don't think it's a bad thing neither, because if you help somebody out along the way, that's fine too, because then they can enjoy the game without being stressed out about the idea of how the heck these characters work. Or they don't give a damn, they just do what most people do in Call of Duty games. Find loadout stuff and just abuse it, basically. I guess, Eskimo. I call him Eskimo. I mean, you probably know who I'm talking about. I call him Eskimo, but, because I have trouble saying his actual name, so I say Eskimo. Basically, he has this apparent new build that people discovered that can one-shot bosses or something. I'm not sure if they fixed it or not. I don't think I don't follow that. But yeah, I guess apparently they figured out a build. Hey, now this guy is viable, taking down bosses in basically a shot. Supposedly. I've just read this news. I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. I have about enough for 3 stack, which is fine. Because I see people do this for hours. Like, when someone stream was watching this game, I was impressed with and someone's doing this for hours, apparently. I see they have the same kind of checkbox. Like, they just had crystallization stuff up to kind of farm all the materials. And I'm looking over, and they had, like, what was it? Freaking thousands of this narrow circle. Like, jeez. Circuits. That is running over this. I spent thousands of hours in that game across several platforms too. And this isn't me boasting or flexing. I mean, it is, but you get the idea that I love that game unconditionally. So playing this game, I see the same mindset of where the developers wanted to go with this one and capitalize upon. Which is not a bad thing either. I'm not crapping on Nexon for borrowing or taking ideas from different games and trying to make their own and seeing what they could do with it. I mean, at the end of the day, this game is just pure fan service unconditionally. And honestly, I'd rather have a game borrow from good ideas than take a bunch of bad ideas. Or take from the entire catalog of Ubisoft. At least with their military shooters recently, I'm not too keen on that. The Division 2 and all that are great games. I'm not going to crap on those, but there's just others out there. I'm like, God, please. Just give me a freaking huge headache. Alright, so I'm going to cook that. By the way, this is what I do all day. I just farm... I just farm for the catalysts all the time. Or the crystallizations or whatever. Or the, having a brain fart. The catalyst. Yeah, it was catalyst. Crystallization catalyst. There we go. My brain was everywhere with that sentence. It was everywhere and nowhere. But, anyway, I rambled enough. If you like what you saw with the gameplay, be sure to follow the channel. I do other stuff. I upload videos from Twitch, which I archive a bunch of my gameplay sessions on the channel, on the website. And if you like what you saw, want to support me also on the Nexon creator thing, I also have it in the description for you to follow and help support me as well as help support yourself. Everyone, of course, gets something out of that. It's completely free and it adds some flavor to your life. Much like your loving smile whenever you look in the mirror. Unless you're sad, then come here and let me hug you. But for now, take care. See you next time.